Do you know Jonathan David? Not personally, but no, the answer is yes. Of course you do. Of course you know. We all know Jonathan David, right? Play FIFA, Football Manager. If you do, or maybe your kids have, then you've signed Jonathan David. We've all signed Jonathan David. I've signed Jonathan David. My son has signed Jonathan David. Jonathan David used to be the future. That's not to demean him or belittle him. He's very much the present. He scored last night. Copa America. 1-0. Canada against Peru. Nice finish, by the way. Very Jonathan David-like finish, though. And I shouldn't really know about such things, really. But I do, because everybody knows about Jonathan David. Now, the reason I'm banging on about everybody knowing about Jonathan David is because yesterday, ex-West Ham United employee said that West Ham are scouting him. Now let's just be absolutely fair here. For the last 4 or 5 days, Jonathan David has been back in the West Ham news again. But I have lost count of the number of times we have been linked with this guy. But anyways, yesterday, ex-West Ham United employee over on his Patreon said West Ham are scouting him, actually scouting him. So, you know, a separation from the other stories. It's just, you know, sort of the usual stuff. West Ham are interested and blah, blah, blah. He was a number of strikers. He sort of went out on a limb yesterday. He said, we've been scouting this guy. I was absolutely flummoxed by it. Hey, it's not a case of shooting a messenger. And ex-West Ham United employee part of some good stuff. Yes, some good stuff about the right-back options as well. It's not about the messenger, it's the message. Why on earth would West Ham be scouting this guy? I mean, you could ask anybody what this guy's like. I just find it really, really strange, right? We were first linked with him before Sebastian Haller. Now, as I say, it's really important. I don't want you to watch this video and think I'm demeaning him or putting him down. I like him. I'd get him tomorrow. I really would. I'd be delighted if this was our choice of striker. He scored in France. It's about a goal every other game, basically. He scores 1 in 2. 72 goals in 146 appearances, something like that. A really good goal scoring record. Doesn't always play centrally either. So, you know, he ticks a lot of boxes. I like him. That's not my message, right? My message is, why do we have to scout him again? What more do we need to find out about this player? Because we were first linked to him before Sebastian Haller. So he's 24 now. He went over to France. Well, he left Canada. He's obviously Canadian. He left Canada, went to Ghent or Genk. I always get them confused. We played both of them, haven't we, relatively recently at West Ham. When he was 18, and then he went to France. So he left Canada 6 years ago. When he was 18, everyone knew about him, and he hit the ground running there. He's been the next big thing for quite some time. I would be really, really surprised if West Ham don't have several dossiers on this guy. It's not quite Youssef En-Nesyri, but he'd be up there. He'd be in the top 10 players, I would suggest, over the last 4 or 5 years that West Ham have been linked with repeatedly, over and over and over again. He knocks Salazar out the park. He really does. He's up. He's probably top 5, right? Now, I do realise that after Pellegrini and Huselos left, they took the folders with them. If you remember the story, Huselos was obviously Pellegrini's director of football, and they both had their sons working. So Huselos Jr. and Pellegrini Jr. And they did a lot of scouting. They scouted a lot of players. And when they left, they literally took the archives with them. There was no computer-based system. There was no big scouting team. They literally left with a note. They left with a paperwork, literally under their arm. Off they went. So I understand there's been a sort of Richard Branson-like deletion of some of the old files. Let's put it that way. However, we still would have scouted a long time after that. We really, really would have done. And there'll be a lot of stuff there, an awful lot of stuff. And I just wonder why we're not calling on that. I mean, what will we learn now that we didn't learn 5 years ago? I just don't get it. What will we learn now that wasn't in a dossier 4 years ago or 3 years ago? What extra bit are we hoping to find out by scouting him now? And the weird thing, who's bloody scouting him? Because Stuyvesant's in Germany, right? So, I don't even sending the main guy over there. Is it for Lopetegui? Lopetegui's going to know who this guy is. This is an experienced European coach. Everybody knows. Everybody knows who this player is. So I just thought it was a funny one. I thought, okay, well, what's the point? I just don't get it. If we want to get him, it's stuff like this that does my din. And I like to think West Ham have changed. And welcome Wes Foderingham, by the way. I feel a bit sorry for Wes, to be fair. Almost every other sign-in would have got their own video, wouldn't they, really? But welcome to West Ham. Wes, I almost called him Les. Wes Foderingham. Welcome to West Ham. But I didn't get his own video. There you go. But my point is, a lot of Lopetegui's going to know exactly who this guy is. You know, he's been in and around the scene, the European scene, for a long, long time. He will know all of his attributes. And I like to think that West Ham do things differently now because of the scouting and because buying Luis Guilherme. But it's stuff like this that means someone else comes in and steals the player, right? So, but this brings me to my sort of final question. So if we're not going to learn, it's not my final question, isn't this? But if we're not going to learn anything more, and he's available, and rumours are that he's available at a price that we can afford, why don't we just sign him? How long have you got to scout him for? You're not going to find anything else out in one more game that you haven't found out in the last 5 years. But anyway, here's the thing. The reason you all know him is not just because he's linked to West Ham, because he's meant to have had sort of unlimited potential. He could go to the very top. And his goals record sort of suggests that. Which begs the question, because at his height, I don't mean his stature, I mean at the height of his... at the height of his fame, if you want, when the hype surrounding him was at its greatest, people would say £50 million player, right? And now it's not. Now it's like £15 million. I might have that slightly wrong, but it's dropped a lot, right? Why has no one bought him? It seems that he is now, the reason it's cheap is he's not got loads of his contract left. So why has nobody bought this player? And it does make you wonder if there's something else there, if there is a reason. I would hope that there's not. But they don't hang around, do they, these big clubs? If someone's got mega talent, people go and sign them up. And it's not like there was a time when Premier League clubs, and it was, up until sort of now, Premier League clubs could buy anyone that they wanted, and sort of European teams, for the last little while, couldn't match the money that the Premier League could pay out. For some reason, we've handicapped ourselves now, and we've brought ourselves down to... I don't know why we honestly, Turkey's voting for Christmas on that one. But yes, so now we've got a situation where, Premier League clubs and European clubs are probably relatively aligned in their spending because of FFP and so on. But he's affordable. So if he's affordable, why Borussia Dortmund? I'm throwing names out there. I don't need you to say, well, they've got a striker, but why not Borussia Dortmund? Whatever, Bayern Munich not got him. Why has a bigger French club not got him? Not at PSG. None of the teams. Nothing at Bayer Leverkusen or anything like that. Not interested in AC Milan or any of these teams. That just nothing. I just find it a little bit weird. So, but anyway, I just asking the question. It just all seems a little bit odd for me. I would like him, and I'd like us to go out and get him, because he's actually one of the few players. This is how well known he is that you don't have to go out and do the scouting on him. You sort of know, don't you? You don't even need to pull up any videos or anything, because we've all seen him play so many times, both in real life and, of course, for our respective Football Manager teams on the PC and whatnot. And we've all seen my son plays FIFA. He's at the wrong level, right? So I'll tell you a little story to play FIFA. My son's 15. He was West Ham, and he does like a career mode. It's not called FIFA anymore, is it? But you know what I'm talking about. And he swept all before him at West Ham. He won everything West Ham, and he's on manager mode, on career mode. And then he'd won everything, and then sometimes you get job offers on there, and he's taken over Luton Town, right? Basically, he achieved everything there was. He achieved the dream, the quadruple. He did it all with West Ham, right? And he thought, I want a challenge. So he's gone to Luton Town, and I don't know, whatever it is, it's 2029 or something now. It's long into the future. I don't think Jonathan David is playing for Luton Town at this point, but he's taken over Luton Town, and he signed a couple of players. They've got like 20 million to spend. He signed a couple of players, and his first game of the season is just beaten Man City 5-0, right? So he said, I'm really, really good. And I said, I think you're probably playing it on the wrong level, mate, but which he undoubtedly is. And that was a couple of days ago. And he said, do you know what, I'll switch it up. And I walked in there, I don't know, about 15 minutes before recording this video, which I uploaded this morning, but I recorded it the night before. And he's there in his room. There he is, beating Arsenal 4-0 at half time. I've got nothing against that, which is all good, you know. And I said, did you put it up a notch? Oh no, I forgot. Right, really. Anyway, I think he's just anyway. Whatever. Let him enjoy it. Point of the matter is, we've all signed Jonathan David. We all know all about Jonathan David. Jonathan David is the guy that we want to get. No need to scout him. Really good. Played yesterday. Scored yesterday or 2 days ago. If you're watching this, what are we waiting for?